The welfare servant for Summer 4 is one Katsushika Hokusai, a 4-star Saber. And spoilers, she's pretty damn good. Simple, but good. So where's the magic at? Let's start with her noble Phantasm, a tour of waterfalls in various provinces. It's a single target arts attack, and its overcharge effect is preemptive NP damage. With a hit count of 8, it's a strong cudgel to loop with, provided you have the right supporters to make it work. Normally this would predispose you to your Tamamos, Neurobrides, and Paracelsi, and while they work, you've got other options that'll make themselves apparent once you see the rest of her kit. Assisting her on this front is Divine Power, Ink. At level 10 it gives 20% charge and 20 stars. 20% meter is the norm for non-overpowered welfares. It'll smooth out near-miss loops, enable incomplete kaleidoscopes, and jumpstart her crit engine. Speaking of which, there's father-daughter connection. It gives a pair of 3-turn buffs, Star Absorption and Guts. Absorption is great, though you'll find that after blowing Divine Power, stars are gonna be in short supply. To remedy this, I strongly recommend running some form of star engine on your supports. Some, like Anderson, have it built into their kit, while you can equip others like Waver with Fragment of 2030. If you really felt like it, you could try the Amadeus trick where you give him a taunt CE, make him dump 50 stars, and then have him make way for a more reliable frontliner. As for the Guts part of this skill, it's functional but not necessarily what you want on your key attacker. That's Hokusai's only form of protection, and in harder fights, it's gonna force you to run an external buff to keep her healthy, typically the Atlas Mystic Code. Of course, you could rely on a certain overpowered Saber face. Castoria is, as per usual, the ultimate art support, and between her buff suite and protective noble Phantasm, she'll give Hokusai everything she wants except stars. So roll up some 2030s, pay pig, chop chop. Rounding out Hokusai's kit is Pseudonym, Dragon Crested Octopus. It's a 3-turn art steroid, and it also applies an on-hit buff. This increases Hokusai's crit damage each time it procs. Arts buffs are quite useful, and under normal circumstances, you'll just be popping it with your NP. Because of FGO's deck mechanics, you can have like 4 turns or more between Brave Chains, meaning the crit element is harder to exploit to the fullest. Sometimes you only get 1 stacked crit, while other times, you just don't have the stars to make your big crit turn work. I don't necessarily advocate doing it, but there is a servant that fixes these problems, Summer BB. Her Faceless Moon ability locks your hand while also providing stars. With 2030 equipped, she can become a Brave Chain crit engine. Normally I run her in videos to quickly see different animation combos without needing to solo, but she does have a legitimate use, and you can see those in combination with Hokusai. While Hokusai has good fundamentals, there's not a whole lot to meme with. The weirdest thing I could come up with was a dual attacker setup with Saber Maeve, who acts as a weird star and debuff source. If you're interested, I did a guide on Saber Maeve, which I'll link at the end. You can do more or less whatever team building wise. Obviously the big arts and crit supporters work the best. Practically, I'd put a premium on starting charge and run charge accelerators. You don't want to take too long before dropping your first NP. If you waste too much time building charge manually, Hokusai will need to worry about enemy NPs and either draw resources to protect her or end up at low health from a guts pop. This starts the fight with you playing catch up and you'll have a rough time. So for craft essences, prioritize starting charge picks like Golden Sumo, Holy Night Supper, and Painting Summer, if you're not running multiple charge accelerators like Astoria or Waver. I guess you could run K-Scope, but I don't really like it on her. I'd rather have an effect I can carry into subsequent NPs. For instance, Magical Girl of Sapphire has both starting charge and NP gain, meaning you have much smoother loop attempts. More aggressive options include Black Grail, Formal Craft, Mark on a Smiling Face, and Royal Icing, provided you can kickstart them with chargers. For command codes, Hokusai takes care of her own absorption, so crit damage is king. Brush of a Mad Painter, Red Gem Lady's Command Seal, Majin-san, and Heavenly Child of Kurama for example. If you need a bit of utility, Fine Sword can give you Invuln Pierce. If you need an idea of just how robust Saber Hokusai is, let's compare her to her closest competition, Saber Lancelot. Single target arts crit attacker, similar charge and star dump, even less protection. Lancelot has the advantages of a higher attack stat, an immediate crit damage buff, and his own multi-turn star income skill. You'd think that'd give him the edge, but he's stuck with a one-hit noble Phantasm, meaning he can't loop without relying on face card RNG. And let's not forget, you'd really want multiple copies of this gotcha servant to make Erendite Overload hit hard. By contrast, you get MP5 Hokusai just by doing the event, and she can do the filthy trick every arch attacker dreams of. Lancelot can't. And even if you don't plan to get a Castoria, they're gonna be everywhere on your friends list. You'll have trouble not finding one, and even one will give Hokusai a dramatic performance increase. So funny enough, I'd say that Hokusai is the overall better servant. She's somewhat more inconvenient as a crit attacker, but that's a small price to pay for a Noble Phantasm's decisive advantage. So yeah, I highly recommend you complete Summer 4 and get Hokusai fully powered up. She's more than worth the effort. Thanks for watching. This week I'll be rolling on JP's GSSR, doing Summer 4 on my main account, and maybe I've got a surprise in store as well. Twitch.tv/RenoTyson. I stream every weekend at 3 p.m. Pacific Time, Friday through Sunday. That said, like if you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more, and I'll see you there.